Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of Epi Chats. I'm very glad that you're here. Last time we talked with Fnatic No-Tail, and we got to find out a lot about him, his person, his team, and everything around Dota. And right now, I have a next very special guest. It will be Admiral Bulldog from Alliance. This is actually the second time that we are conducting this interview, and we had some technical issues with the first recording, so we're just simply going to redo it. So at this point, welcome to Bulldog, and thank you very much for taking the time, man.
Hi, it's nice to be here, and it's unfortunate that the first interview had some problems, but yeah, I have no issues being here again. It's fun.
Awesome, great to hear. Yeah, it's quite frustrating, but I think we'll manage. How has your day been so far? Have you? Yeah, it's in the afternoon right now, quarter after 4 in Germany, and just wondering what you have been up to all day.
Well, today I haven't been doing so much. Yesterday I went out and bought a new sofa and a dishwasher, so I had to throw out a lot of things that was left over from that stuff. But yeah, I've been pretty chill out today.
Got a new sofa. My girlfriend and I have also considering getting a sofa, but they're freaking expensive. Did you go to like IKEA or?
No, I don't know what the store is called, but it's a pretty nice one. It's not too expensive either. So.
All right. We've touched upon a bunch of topics when we last talked, but I'll definitely try to kind of change things up because I always feel it's different. If we talk, it's not my first time with you anymore right now, so it's
Uh,
kind of a bummer. But anyway, I think one thing that a lot of people are interested in that perhaps would be interesting if you would explain one more time is how you came to competitive Dota 2 and perhaps just explain to the viewers like the story, how long you've been playing Dota 2 and stuff, and how it all happened, like how you came into the professional Dota 2 scene.
Sure. Well, for Dota 2, I've been playing for, I don't know, anywhere it's like 2 years maybe. And prior to that, I played Dota 1 for maybe 6 years. And once Dota 2 came out, I couldn't get a beta invite, so I had to wait for a pretty long time. But eventually I got in. And at that point, Lone Druid wasn't released. And I always enjoyed playing this hero even prior to Dota 2. It's one of my favorite heroes. And a lot of the reasons being because it has a summon. I just love playing heroes with summons. I don't know why. Like every game I play heroes or characters with summons. So once I started playing Dota 2, and about like 2 months later, I saw on the front page that Lone Druid was released, and I couldn't wait to play him. So I started playing him a lot, and I still played a lot of different heroes at that point. But at the end, I just started playing him nonstop, like only Lone Druid, because I wanted to improve and so on. So I played him for maybe say after like maybe 300 games in a row. I stumbled upon Dundee in a pub match randomly, and I played a few games against him. I remember was when he played a Pudge, and I played against him in mid, and it was fairly even, which it shouldn't be. He was playing a lot better than me back then. And well, I lost that game. I remember that. It was pretty sad. And just the game after that, I queued up again, and by luck, I met him again. And again, I lost to him, which that sucks. But he apparently liked the way I played or something. I don't know why, but he just added me randomly, so I was very surprised at that. And after that, we played a few pubs together when he was streaming, I think. And eventually, he asked me to stand in for Navi, and so I did that a few times, and that's basically where it all started off from.
Yeah, we all remember the match where you stood in at Navi, played your lone druid. What is it about the hero? Yeah, like you already mentioned, you love heroes that have a summon. What are like I personally never play heroes with summons. I am too dumb for that. But with Lone Druid, what are like some things that really get to you? What makes the hero so interesting to you, and what are like the hardest things to master about the hero?
Well, I mean, again, like he has the strongest summon in the game, so that's very tempting to play him. But it's also really fun because he's a hero you can make sometimes big plays with. It's kind of hard, but in the new patch, it's a bit easier because you can use your ult to dodge a lot more stuff now, like the Storm Bolt or Dazzle, Poison Touch, and there's like one more ability. So it's always fun to abuse those kind of mechanics. where you
Mhm.
just dodge. It makes you feel so good when you do something so well, or when you like getting chased and you block with your bear and TP out or something like that. It's just it gives you this adrenaline that I don't get much from other heroes. Um, I don't know. He's just really fun. I can't help it.
Um, w- in the recent games of Alliance, you haven't played a lot of Lone Druid, at least in the ones that I've watched. It's more so Nature's Prophet and Bounty Hunter, Clockwork as well. Is there any reason for that?
Yeah, of course, there's a reason for that. It's mainly like if you take Solar, I didn't get to play him at all, and a lot of it is because the new heroes are fairly strong against him, like Troll and is really strong against him, and Weaver became fairly popular, and he's also very strong against Lone Druid, and then Nevermore is fairly popular as well, and he's also very strong against him.
Hmm.
And now that the Elder Titan came out, it leaves room for heroes like Bat to come back in the pool, and it's really hard to play Lone Druid against Bat. And I mean, the main issue with Lone Druid is the fact that he takes too long to get online. Basically, a team like Navi, if you play Lone Druid against it, they're just either gonna gank it to hell, or they're just gonna keep fighting your team. And by the time you have Radiance, you'll be losing anyway because they're crushing your team because they're playing 4-on-5. So it's really hard to play it because if you go safely with it, they just like pick Chen or Enchantress and just gank you. And if you go off lane, again, it takes too long to get your Radiance, and your team will be losing by then. So yeah, but the new patch, I think it's gonna change a bit. We're gonna pick him more often, I hope. And yeah, Bounty and Clock, they're just more fighting oriented, and that's something we needed. So that's why I've been playing them more.
Mhm. Um, we're gonna get into the topics of Alliance, Navi, and Patch in just a bit, but I want to take a step back and ask you about your nickname, Admiral Bulldog. Have you always had that nickname, and is there any story to it?
No, I actually in Dota 1, my nickname was Bulldog
Mm-hmm.
because I just love the dog English Bulldogs. And a problem with that nickname is that I use it in everything. So when a new game came out, if you try to type in Bulldog, it's always going to be taken. So I needed to add something to it, and I didn't want to add some numbers or anything because that's stupid. So the game I decided to do it for was when Battlefield 3 came out, and I played with my friends. So this is a military game. I just added a military rank, and it came down to Admiral. I mean, I thought about like General, Bulldog, whatever, but yeah, it came down to Admiral, and yeah, it's pretty silly. I've kind of thought about not having the Admiral part anymore, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's too late now, my friend. That's it.
Yeah.
You mentioned your friends. You played some ego shooters with them, and do you still have a lot of time to hang out with your older friends? And how is the whole situation in general with guys or girls that you still knew from school, perhaps, in relation to your profession as a Dota 2 player now?
Well, before going competitive, I always played with my in real life friend that I grew up with, and after I came into the competitive scene, it just takes up so much time that I don't have time to play with them often anymore. Like just this day, they invited me to play a game, I think, and I didn't have time because I have other things to do and practice and stuff like that. So, playing competitively, it does eat up a lot of your time, and the little time I have, I usually put on in practice. And there's a lot of traveling now coming up as well. So, yeah, I don't have time that much to play with them anymore, which kind of sucks, but that's just life, I guess. I make new friends playing, so.
Hmm. Yeah, you definitely have a team that you're very close with, and yeah, when you went to Seattle, you probably met a lot of the professional players that you haven't met before, or in general. I mean, you've been to DreamHack as well and other lands, but um, let's go over to the international. So you arrived there with your full squad, and you've been handled as favorites there the whole time. I mean, you've been performing extremely strong over in China, and when you came back, everybody was looking out for you. Um, at least when it comes to the European teams, Alliance and Navi were the two big ones. How was your mindset when you arrived in Seattle, before you went to Seattle? Were you guys confident or were you worried? Like, how was the mood in the team?
Well, it was good because the last week of our boot camp was really good. We had some issues prior to that in the boot camp, but it was resolved. So the last week of boot camp was really good. So we all came in there very confident, and we only lost like two LAN events out of like we won a lot of LAN events. So we were all very confident, but I don't think anyone imagined that we would have a super long winning streak in the international and at the end win it. So, I mean, yeah, we were super confident going there for sure.
You mentioned you had some issues in the boot camp. Can you expand upon that a bit?
Well, I mean, it was in the beginning of it. There were some motivation problems, whatever. Uh, but we talked as a team uh, to resolve it because we needed to resolve it because it's really close to the international. So it fixed itself, but I can't go into specifics. So, but yeah,
So
those
was
are
it more
problems.
just like in the sense that it was that you guys didn't practice enough, or?
No, it was mainly just player motivation that some people was not communicating and whatever.
Oh, okay. So just it didn't you didn't gel that well. You had to just
Yeah,
interpersonal
exactly.
stuff that you got to take care of. Who's like the? I mean, when you say you sit down as a team, is it just you five, or is there like a man? Does your manager sit down with you, or how does it work? Because I'm trying to get to the bottom of like when you guys. I mean, it's obvious, it's very important that teams are able to work their way through conflict, and obviously you guys are able to do that. Is it like always, for example, EGM who's like, "Come on, guys, we gotta get our shit together," or is it always different people?
I don't think anyone imagines CGM being the guy who says, "Come on, let's do it." He's not that kind of person, I guess. But it's mainly when there is an issue, it's mainly Loda who resolves it. It's really important to have a person like him in the team because without Loda, I think we would not be able to resolve the problem we had at that point. And yeah, everyone just sits down, and even the our manager Kelly is very supportive and helps us through problems and so on. But you could say that S4 is the captain in game, but outside the game, it's Loda who's the leader, and he's the one who takes care of most of our problems.
I think that's great to hear that you guys have a role distribution kind of as a team, and not only within the game but also outside. Let's talk about your manager Kelly Milkys for a bit. I hear obviously Laura's been together with her for a while, and she makes an extremely nice impression. And I find it very admirable that the relationship between Loda and her is has been going on for such a long time, and it seems to be extremely healthy. She cooks a lot for you guys, which makes me very jealous. I mean, I have a wonderful girlfriend that cooks for me as well, but do you guys get fed by her a lot in boot camp times and stuff?
During the boot camp, she was always making us food, and that's really nice because it's if we didn't have her, we would just go end up going to McDonald's every day or something like that. And also, someone who was there was Bumi, it's Aki's girlfriend. So during the boot camp,
Mm-hmm.
and when she was there, we always got dessert. Yeah, we got dessert. She made like some pie or whatever. So we were a bit spoiled, I guess. It was really nice in the boot camp. Uh, but other than that, she is. I haven't had a manager before like this, so of course, she's the best one I've had. I could easily say, but she's really good with us, and she really takes care of us. It's a little bit sad to see that so many people dislike her sometimes on the internet. She gets a lot of shit, which is I don't think is justified. I mean, yeah, I can't go into details. There's no reason for that, I guess. But from my experience, meeting her and having talked with her, she seems like a super nice person. Or she is a super nice person, and yeah, I wish people would see that.
Yeah, I think the dramatic thing about this is that if you're a person like her or even Loda or whoever, then a large portion of your life, I mean, we're all still very young people, so while you're developing and you're just gathering your experiences, like everybody does stupid stuff or not cool stuff, it doesn't say anything about the person, so or that makes mistakes or whatever. It's just part of life. And if you have a huge community of people able to observe like your development, then there's just a bunch of name calling happening and stuff like that. So I also find it extremely sad how people in general that are in the competitive scene are a little bit more famous get treated by the community itself, because obviously Kelly does make an extremely helpful impression. But yeah, so watch out what you say, guys. Don't like talk shit to people without reason. It really, I mean, it can hurt a bit and stuff. Do you have a favorite dish? Did you have a favorite food that they made when you were in the boot camp?
Well, she made a lot of good food, but I think I can't say no to hamburgers, and she never really liked doing hamburgers. But it was probably the best food she made. Everyone in our team loves hamburgers, I think so.
Nice. So was it you guys going like, come on, make us some
Yeah,
burgers, or?
burger nights. Yeah, burger night every night.
Oh man. So you arrive in Seattle, you're pretty pumped up, you've resolved some issues, you have your manager with you, you're gelled up, you've been winning a lot, and you definitely think that you have what it takes to win that big thing. So you get there. What's the first few things you did? What something that you noticed? Was the hotel really good? Was the food amazing? Some people you met?
Yeah, well, at first when I came there, they lost my bags, so that was kind of sucky. We had to go on different planes with the team because of issues with the airlines. So I came there with Marcus. I guess he's our second manager in a way. He schedules our games,
Hmm.
but he came along there, so both of us lost our baggage. So at first it was looking pretty shitty. So I came there with no clothes. I've been on airplane for a really long time. I'm sweaty. It's pretty bad. But Valve was really nice to give me some clothes, and I got to keep them as well. So I got some really nice clothes from them. So that's really nice. But I got my bag like 2 days later, so it was fine. Other than that, the hotel was really nice. We came there like a day later because of the airplane issues, but we didn't really miss out on anything. And well, the food is something that I guess was a little bit disappointing because Ake was always talking about these burgers Valve had last year at TI2,
Uh-huh.
and I was always asking him every day like, "Where are the burgers?" And he's like, "No, they're not here today, whatever." And there never were any burgers, so I was pretty disappointed because he was saying how good they were. That made me very sad, but. Yeah, Valve treats you like royalty, really. So it's easily the best experience I've had in my life.
Well, but the burgers weren't there. What the fuck? You can't be like, Valve, you're awesome. I hope next
Yeah,
time they get some burgers, man. That'd
and
be
there were
good.
mini burgers as well. They were really good, apparently. So I could eat many of them, but
Oh man. Well, it does make the impression that you guys are very close as well, very tightly knit group. So, who from the pro scene does anybody stick out in your memory, especially that you met in the first few days of the international? We were like, ah, awesome. Like, for example, someone you thought would be an asshole was awesome, or like anything that just sticks out.
hmm. I mean, I've been to this person a few times in other LAN events, and he always sticks out, and it's Bulba. I mean, he he always runs around talking with everyone, and I mean, he's the one that if you're at LAN event, you'll see him the most. You think he's an asshole, but he's not. No, I don't think he's an asshole, but yeah, he's the guy that always sticks out the most at a LAN event for sure.
Yeah, he is a really nice guy, very outspoken too, and very passionate for the game, and he also wants to share that passion with other people. I've had an Epi chat with him as well, so if you guys want to listen into that, you can check out. Yeah, you can on this channel. You're gonna find it. It was the second last one, I think, and it was also extremely nice to talk to him about this as well. All right. You go through the group stages unbeaten. How did, by the way, how did the your routine look in Seattle after the games were finished? Like, did you just go back to the hotel, or do you go out and party, or go to strip clubs?
Well, there was no partying. I mean, everyone had to stay super focused, but we played the games fairly early, I think, and mostly it was just sitting around doing nothing really. I mean, you don't have time when you go to LAN event to go out and discover the city or something like that. Mostly just go back, to the hotel, watch the replays of the enemy and see how they play and so on. And during the group stages, everyone was surprised how well it went. I mean, going 14-0, I believe it was, in
Yeah.
the group stages, and also prior to that, like the day before the group stages, every team gets to boot camp at the hotel and practice against each other. So we played Navi 3 times and DK 2 times, and we won those as well. So in a way, we were 19-0. I mean, you could say that it was just scrims against them, since they're not as serious, but scrimming one day before the international, everyone is taking that serious. So we're not losing a game at all. So it was super pumping, doing that. Yeah.
So you were winning the whole way, and all of a sudden you are in the grand finals. You're feeling extremely happy, and you go into the grand finals against Navi. So before the game, was there anything in particular that you remember? How did you feel going into it? Were you relatively sure because you've beaten Navi before? So were you certain that this would be your victory march?
Well, coming into it, again, we'd won 5 games against Navi there.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 in the officials, but 3 in the scrims just at the event as well. And we only lost 1 game throughout the entire tournament. So I don't know how my team felt, but I felt like we got this. I didn't think we could lose at that point, which is not a good way to think, I guess, because we almost lost. So, but I felt it was impossible for us to lose 3 games at that point. But after the third game, I was pretty angry because I remember the third game fairly well, and I was playing Lone Druid mid, and everything was going good. And we took a fight at Roche. We killed all of them basically, and we've played so many games like this, and we always win them. But then we do some stupid ganks that are unnecessary, and then we lose our top ranks because people are out of position or whatever. And it was a game we should have won. And at that point, you do get angry because, I mean, normally when you play with your teammates, we're a team that never gets angry at each other. So if someone makes a mistake in an official game, it's, whatever, everyone makes mistakes. And I also make them. Sometimes I throw a game, and no one blames me for it because everyone makes mistakes. But it's hard to have that attitude at the single most important games, like, oh, this person just threw the third game, whatever, everyone makes a mistake. No, you get pissed in a way. I mean, you can't make mistakes in these games anymore, and when they're made, you just get angry. But I mean, it's just an emotional response, and it's not very. I didn't take it out or anything. I was mad at the point, but I didn't say anything. But we won anyway, so it's all good.
We talked about this in the last interview as well a bit, and that was before the big game. You guys got together, and Loda had a quick chat with you. So I guess just for the record, and for people that are going to listen to this interview, perhaps you can just talk about what happened before the fifth game.
Well, it was before the fourth game actually.
Oh, okay.
When we
Sorry.
had we since we lost 2 games in a row. Uh, and well, as I said, I was pretty upset. I don't know how my team felt. I was just pissed at that point because we should have won that game. And so we just went to the behind the scenes, and we were talking, and Loda basically just made I guess a small motivational speech that even though even if we lose, it's still fine because we've achieved so much in so short time, and just because we lost 2 games, we still can take 2 games off them, no problem. So, and everyone just got pumped up again. 2 games. I mean, we just need to win 2 games. That's all. And we've beaten Navi many times before, so we just went out there, and even though we were a bit sad, we still played as good as we possibly could.
hmm One thing that I didn't ask in the last interview, which I wanted to ask this time around, was um, if you imagine after the fifth game, somebody would have come for an interview and would have asked you to just give us the lowdown and tell us the story of the fifth game. Um, what was the story of the fifth game? How did you perceive it? I mean, we were only observing it, but how was it out of your perspective?
Yeah, the game. It is the most fun game I've ever played, for sure. I probably wouldn't be saying that if I lost it, but uh, the amount of mistakes made that game was so many by both teams. You know, in a game like this, you don't play your standard game. Everything is just a big mess. And if you just go at the start, everything just went wrong. First of all, the mid lane was Puck versus TA, and we know how this goes because we used it quite a lot of times versus Mouse back in the days when they played Puck mid a lot with Fada, and we just put as for TA there, and he always beat him quite a lot. And this game was no different. And I remember like at minute 8 or something, I was looking there, and then it was like level 7, and that's where it was level 5. So I knew he was getting crushed there, even though he wasn't saying anything. I knew he was getting crushed in a way. So that was looking poorly. And then our tri lane was should have gone a lot better. I mean, the first gank was a disaster. I TP in, fake TP in, because I didn't feel I would need to TP in. There were 3 heroes with 3 stuns. The frostbite is immobilized, but whatever. And so I just fake TP in, and then they die there. So I felt forced to TP in to just kill him off. So I die as well, and everything becomes a disaster. And now I have to go top against a bat, and Fury versus bat lane is really hard. If he gets an advantage, you can't go on the lane anymore. So everything at the start was so bad, and so I told that we need to rotate the lanes. So we sent our safe lane top, and we killed the bat, which was really good. And S4 was far behind on the dagger, and then there was a fight in the middle that was really crucial. S4 gets killed, and then he bites back, and he goes in again, and he dies again. And it's so bad for us because he's so far behind from his dagger now, and we really need it. So the game at this point was looking over in a way. We shouldn't come back from this point. But then everything changes from the Roshan fight, which is so important for us. I've watched this replay quite a few times, and every time I look at it, I'm like, there's no way Navi can lose this fight. They should not be losing this fight, and I don't know what happens that fight. We just go in. Somehow we killed Enigma, and God, that fight. It was just on the edge as well. I mean, if Dandy kills Roshan before us and takes Aegis, the game would probably have been over. But we just kill him. It's like 1 second from him getting Roshan. It's just unbelievable. And after that, they the next Roshan. I mean, it's pretty. Not much happens for like 10 minutes or something like that because they don't want to fight when we have Aegis on puck. So there's not much going on the map. And when the next Roshan comes up, they go for it because again they have a stronger 5 man. We can't fight them straight up. So at that point, Funnick is bat and he fires twice and he grabs S4, and at that point S4 just says I'm sorry in and he sounds so sad, like I'm sorry guys because he got caught, and it's so we both of us we would just split push in the top lane, me as Furion, and on the bottom as Wisp CK. And they're going in for mid now. And as for Sassy has buyback though, so it's fine. And soon enough, Navi realizes that this was a bad idea to go middle because we're pushing both their sides. And Esfor just keeps allaying them with Aki, and they did made a mistake that then they didn't have TP. He dropped it for instead of the one or something, so they don't have TP, and they're only TP only with 2 people at first, and then have all TPs in as well. But then it's too late. I kill Funnick and we kill Kuroki as well. So we get both sides of racks, and at that point it's almost GG. Like for them to come back at this point when we have 2 sides of racks against the Furion, there's really very short chance or very small chance. And they try to go mid again. So I just split push at this point. I knew that we shouldn't be fighting. We should just split push, which some people say it's a cowardly tactic, but it's stupid to say that. It's the tactic that made us win. If you think you show manhood or being a man over a video game, I think you need to look over your life because that's really not how you show if you're a man or not. It's a video game. So we just do the playstyle that we need to do to win, and I'm just building up for Manta style and drums and everything like that to make sure they never leave their base and they can never get past the water. Because once they go for the Roshan and tries to do it, we're inside their base again, and they have to back out. And it's at that point when S4 stops their TPs and they're too late for their base, and we win by fighting there. So Yeah, it's quite the epic game, and I think I'll never forget that moment.
There you have it, guys. Game 5 from the perspective of Bulldog, who's been there and contributed to the victory of Alliance. And I can tell you, man, I was commentating that out of the studio as well for the German folks at home, and my goodness, that was a really really big nail biter. And also, I was pretty sure that yeah, I mean, a lot of people said Navi had definitely a chance to win this. What was the single biggest mistake in the game you feel that Navi made against you? Is there even one?
Well, I mean, they made many mistakes,
Hmm.
as did we. Like everyone made mistakes, but it all comes down to the Roche fight, really. I mean, even if we didn't get the two racks like afterwards, and they just backed and played safe, maybe that was a mistake to push mid and give us two racks. But I think the biggest mistake was the Roche fight. Again, like looking back at it, I don't know how we won that fight, but somehow we did. Like we killed them so many times, and they killed us a lot of times as well. But we ended up getting the Roshan, and I mean, it's one of these games when you play and so much is on the line. You don't just sit back and like, hey, let's be calm, let's do this smart. You're just doing things on top of your mind, you know. And they thought going Roshan was a good idea. And it was at that point, but since the fight was starting to look poorly for them and so on, they should just backed out, regrouped, and then go in again. But they just kept sending in one by one and whatever. Like they kept sending in two by two, whatever. And that was the mistake. That Roche fight, winning that won us the game, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Dendy in an interview afterwards being very emotional and saying that he never wanted to go back in. He thought it was a lost cause, not Roshan itself, but that one fight. He felt like Navi needed to regroup. Don't throw too much of their advantage away and then go back in again as a team. But that somebody on their squad kept on telling him go 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 in Roshan, and Dendy being that trusty, fragile little boy that he is, he just listens, goes in and dies, and that was huge. I mean, he was a beast. I think he had a chrysalis, a blink, um, I think phase boots or power treads, but he was
Yeah.
very, very far ahead on farm, and he could just wreck face whenever he wanted to, and all they needed to do was just keep him safe. But I mean, that's what I hear from Kuroki in his interview as well when I talk to him, that the pressure is just too much. You can be as professional as you want, you can have so much experience as you want, but if you're playing in the grand final, it's a fifth game, then there's just a point where you tilt, and it's just too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, you made it through, and you came out victorious. You won a lot of money, and you know what I found funny? After you won, you came on the stage as five, and then Casey came on as well. She's like, "How about that game? What did you think?" And you're like, "I have no words, like stop talking to me." But the thing is, the first guy that started talking was EGM, out of all people. He came to the mic and he's like, "I didn't even know we were winning." It was really, really, really funny. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So how did you spend the rest of your Seattle days?
Hmm. Let's see if I remember even. I mean, after the event, there was the after party, and yeah, I don't enjoy doing that so much. I don't like to drink too much, so I didn't really enjoy that, honestly.
Do
And
you do you do you not like to do you not like to drink alcohol in general, or just like that setting?
no, I don't like to do it in general, really.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just who I am. I'm not a Russian,
Okay. Was there
and
anything in particular that happened at the after show party that you found interesting?
well, I mean, I remember I was drinking a little bit too much, so I had to leave fairly early. And I remember when I went outside to get some air, and I was completely gone or whatever. And people came up to me, "Hey, can I take a picture? I can't see anything." I'm like, "Please go away." Yeah, it was it wasn't that fun, honestly. So I just went back to the hotel, and but after that, we stayed for like 2 days. I don't remember what we did. I don't think we did anything really. Yeah, I think we just went out to eat together as a team. Yeah, nothing other. I think we took the tour as well of that. Well, maybe that was in the beginning. I don't even remember anymore.
So when you came back home to your parents, like how did you call your parents that same night, or how did that go? How did you tell your parents?
Well, I'm not that type of person that calls my parents just a moment afterwards and anything. I waited for it to come home, and of course they're really happy for me, and they've been watching the games. They don't understand much though, which like Dota is pretty hard to understand, especially if you're not don't know anything about computers. But yeah, they've been really supportive throughout ever since I won DreamHack, and yeah, they were really happy for me.
I remember Dendy's mom saying that spectating a Dota 2 game is like watching a movie, and like, you know, her little son being one of the main actors in the movie, and it felt. I found it so interesting when she in the interview was saying it's like a movie, and then I rewatched the replay, and I imagine, you know, you watching your child play, and Dendi is the solo mid, and he has so much pressure on his shoulder, and he's doing so good, and he's like the biggest guy on the map, and all of a sudden, like he gets taken out by great team play at Roshan. It was really cruel in the way that you guys were defending Roshan, and very cold, and it worked in the end, and I find it really interesting to hear about like the different perspectives. Um, all right, you want a lot of money? What have you done with the money up to now?
Well, I bought myself my own apartment to begin with, so I finally move on my. I live by myself, which is it's quite nice. I mean, there's a lot more work now I have to do,
Sucks,
but
doesn't it?
yeah, it does. But yeah, as I said, I also bought a sofa. I bought a lot of new things for my apartment, like a new desk and with a new bed and stuff like that. Just the normal things. But other than that, I haven't bought anything. I'm planning to buy a new dog as well, maybe two of them,
Oh,
but
really?
we'll see. Yeah.
What kind of dog may it be? I have no idea, man. Tell us.
Well, I mean, at first I kind of promised to buy an English Bulldog because it's my name after all. But again, as I said in the previous interview, I just they have a lot of health issues. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I've kind of reconsidered it. I haven't decided yet, but I think I might just buy a Basset Hound instead, which is something I grew up with as a kid.
Wait, how
And
how do you spell it? Let me Google that quickly.
Basset, well, I can just write to you.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, on Skype.
Okay. Basset Hound. You want to get one of them? Let's see what. Because I remember you're talking about you could. I thought that maybe you were gonna get really like an English bulldog now. Oh my goodness, dude, that is an awesome dog.
It is.
Those ears go down. Let's see if I can get one on the screen here. Those are some freaking amazing ears, man. You can do a lot of things with those ears. You can just wrap them around his head a bunch of times.
Yeah, you can. I tried that with our old dog, but it's pretty hard actually.
Oh man, dude, that is awesome. Do you have the time to take care of a dog?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, my sister and my parents live just really close by, so if I have to travel, they can just take care of it if that happens. But uh, I'll make time because I do love dogs, and I'll make time.
All right, I have to save this picture here right now. Basset. Guys, you will not regret this. I'm gonna add the media file to XSplit. Desktop Basset. There you go, guys. That's gonna be the logo for the rest of the interview. Dude, I hope you will get one. That will be awesome. Do you have a name for him yet? Do you know what you would call him?
Not entirely sure. I've thought of something Dota related, but it's pretty hard. So I might just do. I like Roman era, so maybe Tiberius. Maybe I don't know yet. We'll see.
Oh, so a Greek name.
Yeah, Tiberius.
Nice,
It's just a
nice.
nice name.
All right. Let's move on. You've won the international, obviously. You've won a lot of money, obviously. You spent it on a bunch of nice things, and you might get yourself an awesome dog. Um, let's speak about Alliance. First of all, let's talk about the organization Alliance itself. I know that Alliance is not the name of the actual sponsor, so what can you tell us about, your sponsorship details?
Our
Like,
sponsorship details. Well, our sponsor is Razer, XMG, and Monster. And what I could tell, I mean, they provide with us with the gear we need. Racer provides with the keyboard and mouse, and mouse pad, and XMG provides us with they give us a laptop, and Monster they keep us they give us energy to the energy drink. We bring it along to LAN events, which is nice. I don't know what else I could say about them.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, I mean, I because uh, I think didn't have that much time as of late to go through like community forums and stuff like that. But is it known? I think it's known, that the organization behind Alliance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's EG.
Okay. Okay. I was
I think
okay.
everyone knows that now.
Okay. We got that. Okay. Good. And going from your organization over the Team Alliance to the team itself, um, I would like to I would like us to find out more about the guys on your team itself. So perhaps you can help us there, getting to know them. Talk to us about how you experience them and what you like about them, maybe what you don't like about them, um, and how the time has been with your teammates as of late. So perhaps let us start with A like Ake.
All right, sure. Well, I guess I could tell him what kind of person he is and what kind of player he is in game. So if we could just start with like how he is as a player in game, uh he's basically the most solid player in the team. I think he just always plays good regardless, pretty much. And as a person, he's the guy that no one dislikes, and he's just super friendly and nice all the time. I've like never seen him angry. Uh, mm, and yeah, I don't know what else to say about him. He's just a really nice guy. Too
Oh.
nice, maybe.
um, and he's been together with his girlfriend for an eternity, right? Has it been like
Yeah,
10 years
10
or
years.
something?
Yeah,
Holy hell.
that
So
doesn't seem healthy.
yeah. Maybe that's why he's so nice, because he doesn't care anymore about life itself. He's just like,
uh, he's got it all.
yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, the Boomy, she also makes a very nice impression, and she also is extremely
Yeah.
supportive. I mean, she was their DreamHack as well. How did you get to know her as well?
Yeah, well, I play with her quite a lot. Sometimes when I stream and so on, and she's nice. She's an idiot, but she's nice. That's all I can say. Don't tell her I said that.
All right, very good. EGM, what kind of a guy is he? I mean, for all of us, he's like this quiet guy, and I said this before in our previous interview that he is. I know he likes to watch a lot of anime and stuff, and I have the impression that he really reminds me of one of my own very good friends, and he's also like extremely quiet. But on TeamSpeak, he's the guy that talks the most shit, like the most senseless, idiotic stuff you can imagine. Is EGM kind of like that?
I guess you could say so. I mean, everyone in our team likes anime except me. I never watch it.
Ah, okay.
Uh, I mean, the only anime I watched is like Pokemon when I was a kid.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, he might come off as a. I mean, he is quiet, but it's not because he's shy or anything. I mean, when we sit on Skype, he is the guy who talks the most shit, for sure. And yeah, he's also the one who gets craziest when he drinks, and yeah, what to say about him?
What kind of crazy stuff does EGM do when he's drunk? That's what I'm interested in.
Well, he just drinks too much. Like he doesn't do anything. He just runs around. I don't know. Like he just drinks too much. If you were at Starletter, you would know.
Is he just goofy or what?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Okay. What else? What is like the one thing you like the most about EGM?
That he's really good at farming as a support. That's what I love about him. He always finds the farm. He steals my farm.
All right. Loda.
Yeah, Loda. Well, as I said, he's basically, I guess you could say, the pillar of our team. He's the one who keeps it together. He's as I said, like the out game leader. and he's the one who takes care of most of the things. And if there are problems, he resolves them and so on. And as a person, he is again like super nice and very supportive, I guess you could say. It's the same. It's the kind of you kind of sometimes get the idea that he has a big ego or whatever the internet thinks about him, but he is not like that. I kind of thought it would be hard to play in his team, but it was the opposite. He's super friendly and so on. So it's weird how sometimes if you just read on the internet, you think you know how a person is, but it's completely wrong. And yeah, that's how it is. He's yeah.
I've had the same impression of him. Also, just need to get this out. I was at DreamHack Winter 2012, and he was there, and I was watching a game in the players area when he arrived, and he just came over, started chatting to me about the game and what I think and stuff, and that's when I was kind of taken aback because I've met him there for the very first time. Knew about his history, how much he's achieved, and how big of a character he is in the Dota 2 scene, and I wouldn't even blame him if he had like a big ego and stuff because I think at some point, if you are, within the realms of Dota 2, you can definitely, be having big ego because you know that you've achieved a lot and you don't have to hide and stuff. But he was not like that. He was very down to earth, extremely friendly, and very, he liked to chat with people about whatever, and very
Yeah.
approachable in general. And what I found very striking about Loda is that when Dota 2 came around, he all of a sudden came out of nowhere with his team experience and just started going crazy with that one. And they won a lot of stuff too. And when they first came out, I was like, all right, this is now some old school people that want to come to Dota 2. Like this is a new game, this is a new meta game and stuff. And I wasn't sure if they would be successful, but all of a sudden, man, he just freaking yeah, showed everybody that he really is a skilled player. It's not just like talk and stuff, and he deserves all the respect he has. It was very very humbling to meet him in person as well, especially when you consider his history.
Yeah.
Mm. And now Senor S4.
Yeah. As for uh, he's as I said in the other interview, he's I believe he's very quirky. I think that's the word that summarizes him the most. Uh, he's really funny to be around, and he's probably the one that has the best understanding of Dota 2. He comes out with a lot of good ideas, sometimes bad ones, but mostly good ones. And it is really nice to play with him because he's really good at the game. And what else can you say about him? I don't know. I guess that summarized most of him.
um, is he just like a quiet person, or is he like also like he makes in-game calls a lot as well? Is he like what is his mood like in the game? Is he just serious? Does he get mad, or is he just very accepting? Like, what kind of a in-game character is S4?
Well, he's not shy or anything like that. He makes a lot of calls, and I mean sometimes he's kept in hindsight, like, oh, we should have done this, after a team fight, which is pretty obvious and so on, whatever. So sometimes he's kept in hindsight, but uh, he's making the most of the calls, and I mean everyone in the team makes calls. We just everyone knows and understands the game really well, so it really isn't like one person making the calls, but if there's one that makes most of the calls, then you could say it's him. Yeah.
Okay, so what you've been spending a lot of time with the guys. Has it always been an enjoyable time, or are you happy to have some private time in your own flat right now?
Well, after TI3 it was really nice to have like a month off, not playing any competitive, and after that, after starting practicing, it was a little bit annoying because I never liked playing scrims or practice. Like I play scrims because of what it gives me. Like you improve and you become better, so that motivates me to play scrims.
Mm-hmm.
But after we started practicing again, a lot of the games were very trollish and really stupid picks just for fun and so on. And it was really quite a lot of waste of time for me because yeah, it was not serious at all. So there was some issues after TI3 that people were trolling around too much. But now with the new patches coming out, and just recently we've been streaming, and it's been a lot better. So we'll see. Now with the new patch, it's going to be really fun to play as well, and it's going to be a lot more serious scrims, I'm sure.
Are you gonna move into a team house anytime soon, or is this not planned?
We're getting a team house, as far as I know, but I don't think we're going to move there because I mean I don't want to move there to begin with because I got my own apartment now.
Yeah.
But we might be like, oh, here's an important land coming up, so everyone move to the apartment for like or team house, whatever it's going to be, for a week just to practice. I mean, that's definitely what we're going to do for TI4, uh, to boot camp together. But other than that, we're not going to live in the team house. Maybe if someone wants to move there, they can. I don't know what everyone else thinks about that, but yeah.
You have there's another the Ninjas in Pajamas are from Counter-Strike Go. They're a really strong team, and they're also in Sweden. Do you guys have any contact with them? Do you hang out with them at all? Or I know they have a nice team house. Maybe you can go there.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, during before G1 League, we practiced we boot camped in Stockholm and at Inferno Online, and we used their area. Like there's a separate area for the Ninja in Pajamas, and we used that, which was nice. And our team is very close to them. Like during Solitaire, I'm the only one who don't hang out with them because I guess you could say I'm the offlaner in the team. Like I like to stay a lot by myself.
Hmm.
So, but my team they usually always hang out with those. And S4, for example, he loves Counter-Strike Source, so he usually talks with them about that and stuff like that. But I'm not really interested in Counter-Strike or stuff like that. So I usually don't hang around with them, but our team generally does. The rest of
Nice.
them.
I like Counter-Strike Source a lot too, and I'm really jealous that S4 has the opportunity to just talk to them about stuff. I play. Whenever I play some maps where I'm not sure how to throw a grenade in a certain way and stuff to achieve something in particular, then I get really frustrated because I know that there's probably a bunch of pros that know exactly how to do it. But is it really? You just mentioned that you're the offlaner, you like to be by yourself a lot. Is it really like that? That most off like there's correlations between the role in the team and the character?
Well, I think there is partially, but I don't know. I think I can't really tell. I mean, it's just who I prefer to be. Like I personally like to stay by myself a lot, and does that make me a better offlaner? I don't know about that, but uh, if you take the characteristics of players in the team, I think it makes a bit sense. Like Loda is he is very confident and so on, so it makes him a good carry because you really need to be confident being a carry player. If you're insecure as a carry player and you hesitate, you're gonna lose the game for your team. Like you need to have balls basically, and so I guess you could say there are who you are matters. Like maybe you're better at certain things because of who you are. But yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe.
It's pretty crazy. You said you have to have balls. When I try to explain people the carry role, I said you need to have intelligent balls. Because if you just go in like an idiot, then it might not help. But at the right point in time, you got to know when to commit and stuff. What would you say about the offlane? What are like the best virtues you can have to be a really fucking awesome offlaner?
Well, I think the two most important things is patience and creativity. Because in offlane, you need to be smart and think outside the box. Because if you just stand there and be patient, you're just hoping for them to maybe make a miss pull and push the wave for you. Like you can't do that. But you have to be a bit creative. Maybe be bounty, place some weird ward to block the camping or whatever, or just hide in the woods with by eating a tree with a tango or whatever. Uh, so yeah, I think being patient is the most important thing. I remember when I started playing for No Time Ender, I was watching mainly Light of Heaven on the offlane because I think watching replays of other players is really important to learn from them. So I was watching Light of Heaven and Demon because basically Demon is a super creative offlaner. It's always super fun to watch him play in the offlane.
Hmm.
Like when he's like the only offlaner who goes coddle offlane and is successful with it.
Hmm.
And Light of Heaven has always been a very solid, consistent player, and you should have both of these styles. You should combine them, and the key for a good offlaner, I think.
Okay. Do you have, when you play Clockwork, you always time your rocket to block the pull camp?
Yeah.
Do you have like a certain spot where you stand and a timing for it that you want to share with the viewers? Or do you just kind of know by feel?
No, you have to have a specific spot. It helps you a lot. I remember when I started practicing it, you just have to go into a practice mode and sit there shooting rockets for 1 to 2 hours. It's really boring. I guess you just listen to music and it's fine, I guess. But anyone can do it. You just have to do the boring job and shoot rockets. I mean, I have a specific stone I stand at, and I shoot at 56.5 seconds as radiant, and as dire, I shoot at 56.0 seconds. I have it all memorized, and I also write stuff like this down so I don't forget. And I also do it daily, just for like 5 minutes, so I keep it fresh. And maybe it will go away anyway in the next patch, because a lot of things are going to change, but we'll see. But you just have to, I mean, if you just do it for 1 hour and then don't practice it over and over, you're gonna screw up. And I mean, I did it today, for example, and I missed quite a few rockets, and so I'm gonna have to practice a little bit more with that.
um, Damn, what was I gonna say? Holy shit, it's gone now. Ah, it was, Oh yes, the patch, of course. It's a pretty big one. It's, I think, one of the biggest influencing patches ever since Dota 2 has come out. How much time have you guys spent within the team discussing the patch itself?
Well, when it came out, we actually found out about it a bit earlier, like it started. So before like 5 days before it was released, so we talked a little bit about it then, like just in general. And then once it came out, we talked about it again because there was a few things that changed. And well, there really no specific things. We just went over and talking about what we think about it, like Balanar S4 likes that change that he's strong now and whatever. But you just have to. There's only so much you can do in theory crafting. You have to test it. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna come out very soon, so it's gonna be nice.
Ah, how soon is very soon? Like tonight?
I heard it was coming out tonight, yeah. But
Awesome.
maybe that's wrong. I mean, if there's a bug, then they're gonna delay it by a day or two. So we'll see.
I think where your information is coming from, we can rely on that quite a bit. I'm scared of the patch, to be honest. It's so much change. It's gonna be nuts. Is the is what's the general opinion of the patch in Alliance? Is it like this is a good patch or this is a shitty patch? What's the general opinion?
I personally think it's good, and I think most of our teams think it's good because when you do the same thing over and over again, regardless of what it is in life, you're gonna get a bit bored. So this is what keeps Dota fresh, these new things, and everyone is open to change in our team, and there's always some people that dislike change, but I remember when, like, for example, when new icons for items came out in Dota 2, people were whining that, oh, they're not as good. And then 2 weeks later, everyone got used to them, everyone likes them. And so everyone really disliking the new Dota 2 patch, just give them a few weeks and they're going to be fine. This is usually how it is. And overall, it is a good patch, I think.
So let's talk about a few little things. For example, the fact that the medium and the small camp are being swapped around. How does that change the way that supports get their experience and their levels? Because I feel like this is, for example, one very, very big thing. How do you guys interpret that change, and how do you plan on reacting to it?
Well, I think, I mean, currently in the current game, you can lane very differently, but usually you either go like a safe lane tri lane, aggressive tri lane, or a safe lane dual lane with a jungler. With the new patch, I think the lanes are going to be different. You might still do tri lanes, but I don't think as often because in the new patch, as a tri lane with two supports, you're barely going to get levels on them, and if you pull, say the enemy has a bounty hunter, he leeches some of the experience, so the supports are not going to get any experience. The offlaner is going to get much more experience, and he can be more annoying. I just don't think it's viable. It is viable being training, but I don't think it's good anymore because you can punish it. I mean, especially, I mean, Broodmother is out of CM, but it's said that she'll be added shortly, so we'll see about that. So once she's added, I mean, what does a tri lane do against a Broodmother? You don't do anything. you lose that lane. So it's not efficient being a tri lane anymore. And we talked a little bit inside the team about tri lanes, and I don't think they're gonna be used often. But Ake kinda is like, I don't know. So we'll see. But I just think that say the enemy goes a tri lane, and what if we just send like Lich Lone Druid against a dual lane against a tri lane? What are you gonna do? Because we're gonna have the creep wave at our tower all the time, so they can't kill us. We're gonna get more experience in them because the pull camp is so little. We could even ward it if we want. And again, like denying creeps with Lich is gonna give you experience now, so you're gonna lose your tri lane against a dual lane. It's just not good going safe lane tri lane anymore. I don't think. And there's so many heroes you could do that. What if you go Lich Clock off lane or whatever? And well, I like Lich in the new patch a lot, by the way. I think it's super good. Uh, yeah, I just think there's gonna be more dual lanes. Hopefully, it's more fun that way as well.
Yeah, I feel like Lich is definitely gonna have his time to shine relatively soon. You already said that Night Stalker is gonna be strong, at least in the eyes of S4, and I think that a lot of people think that as well. What about a hero like Axe, for example?
X. Well, the problem always with him is how you lane him, and I mean now if you want to play him in the current patch, you just have to jungle him, I guess. But in the new patch, Axe in a dueling could be good. I mean, if you go like Dazzle Axe and go behind the enemy tower, I don't know how they would deal with that if you're dual lane versus dual lane. Again, like how do you lane this hero?
Mm-hmm.
But he's a lot stronger now. Like in a team fight, if you just use your ult on a creep and everyone in your team gets 40% movement speed, all right, like that's crazy. It's so much. So I don't know about X.
And it
We'll
doesn't
see.
even go on cooldown that Culling Blade. It's just like chop.
Yeah.
Uh,
But it only works on heroes, though. If you kill a creep, it goes on cooldown.
mhm. Any other heroes that you're looking forward to see how they do after the patch?
Well, I mean, the heroes I played the most is Lone Druid and Furion, and if you look at Furion, uh, he was nerfed. The treants give more gold and experience, which has little to no impact on the game. I don't think that changes anything.
Mm-hmm.
But he was nerfed in the sense that buybacks, you can no longer like buyback and split push. Or if you fight in team fighting buyback and buyback into it, and you die again, you lose so much. You're dead for so long. So the buyback nerf was quite significant on Furion.
Mm-hmm.
But he was also buffed, like in a way that Necronomicon was buffed. You can only handle Midas it or dominate it. So that's really nice. So I don't still think that Furion will be picked, but he will not be used as much as a split pusher because also the Shadow Blade was nerfed. So he's gonna fight more, but again, how do you lane this here now? If there's dual lanes, how well does a Furion do in a dual lane?
Mm-hmm.
And and the jungle was nerfed as well. So I don't know. Like I still think he will be picked. He's a pretty good hero. And Lone Druid, he was buffed overall. I think. The Spirit Break is more experienced now, which again I don't think that changes anything. Because if the Spirit Bear dies mid to late game, it has no impact, and that's really the only times it does die. It shouldn't die early game, and if you manage to kill the enemy Spirit Bear early game, you deserve to be rewarded with 300 gold and 300 experience.
Mm-hmm.
But he was also buffed 10 movement speed, which is pretty huge in laning phase, especially if it goes to dual lanes. 10 more movement speed. I remember talking to Black once Anti-Mage was nerfed. Anti-Mage movement speed was nerfed by 5, and he was whining so much how big it was. And you might say like 5 movement speed, that's nothing, but it really changes how lanes go. And 10 plus movement speed on a hero that has really long range, it makes him very much stronger. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Especially, I mean, he got other buff like Radiance buff, which is he's the only hero that uses it aside with Spectre. So that's just a flat out buff for Lone Druid. And on top of the Tranquil change, which makes enemy carriers can't use it. I don't know how it's gonna work on Lone Druid though. I think it's pretty good actually. Giving 4 armor even when it's broken and 60 movement speed.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So I think Lone Druid was decently buffed. We'll see where it goes from here. I'll definitely pick him though. I'll force S4 to do it.
That's great. Okay. Is there anything? I mean, the patch was huge. I mean, the Brood Mother change. You touched upon that quickly. Is there anything else that you found that you found very uh, that you find worth mentioning right now about the patch?
Well, nothing that's really big, I guess. I like this some small trains like you get more gold per second. That's
Mm-hmm.
really nice for supports and experience range being longer. And again, the fact that you get experience from the enemy neutrals, even if you don't kill them, it's really gonna change a lot, I think. And also the day night change, 4 minutes is gonna change a lot with the tranquil boots buff. It's in a way a buff to maiden because in the current game you need mana boots. You need mana on support, and you want to give mana on your carries. So your support kinda usually goes mana boots. But if you now go maiden and visage or whatever, and both of them go tranquil boots, and maiden goes her aura, so you don't need the mana boots. You can so easily gank the mid lane because here comes maiden with boots that increases by 85 and visage. Because usually what happens mid is you try to gank them, but then he spots you and he just runs away. Now you can just have smoke, just rush into the mid. He's not gonna have time to respond, and even if you start running. You have tranquil boots. They give you 85 movement speed. You're gonna catch up. You're gonna slow the enemy mid, and you're gonna kill him. It's much
Mm-hmm.
easier to gank now, and so that's really nice. And I know some new support heroes is gonna be nice, like Venom Monster. Uh, it's gonna be nice to see him back. But yeah, I think Maiden is gonna be a lot more popular because of the Mon Aura. So yeah,
So Venom gonna be back? Why? Because of the tranquil boots, essentially, or to
he
run
got
you
buffed
down?
like in every way. I think the slow goes through magic. He's a really, I mean, it goes through invis. So if you're invis, you still hit your slow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very good. If you play against bounty hunter, if you hit the slow, bounty hunter is dead basically,
Mm-hmm.
and his passive now works on his wards, and then
Ah, yes. Okay, I remember. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
this is also very important because since it's night all the time now, like I mean it's more often night. Vision is really important, and with if you have a Venomouse who just spams Venom wards everywhere, it's much harder to get ganked, and Vision is always been good, and the Venom wards is gonna be so good for that.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. That's very very good. That the buffs you mentioned, they weren't so clear to me initially, but the biggest point I think is also the fact that now vision becomes extremely important, and Venom wards have give you that very quickly and freely. All right. You play a lot of pubs on your stream as well. I really enjoy watching it because you talk a lot of shit and you like you trash talk the enemy nicely, or like you don't trash talk, but you enjoy um, winning the games and stuff, and just rushing in and doing crazy stuff and so on. Um, who do you play with the most when you play public games casually?
Well, I don't play pubs if I don't. The only times I play pubs is really when I stream or when I need to practice something new, like a new hero. And well, right now I'm not practicing a new hero because the patch is just coming out, so we'll see what heroes I'm gonna start practicing. But when I stream, I usually play with Cyclops, who everyone loves. He's really fun to play with as well. And Boo, and Cheever. And there are some other heroes, some other players, people that sometimes come along. But those are
Cy-
regulars.
Cyclops is really crazy. I haven't heard his casts yet, but I saw him play sniper with you. I think you had Death Prophet and he had Sniper, and I think
Yeah.
Shiver had a Spirit Breaker, and it was really fun because he was getting ganked all the time, and you were telling him to man up and fight and stuff, and he was just whining. It was really really enjoyable.
Yeah.
But you
It's
carried
funny
that.
because
Hmm?
he's playing on from Thailand, so he's got really high ping, and he always picks his stupid hero like Sniper. I can't imagine playing Sniper on 400 ping. I mean, it's just a disaster.
Yeah. Um, yeah. You met Shiver. Did you meet Shiver for the first time at the international?
Yeah, I remember that. I was sitting by myself in the Alliance. I don't know what it's called, but where we sit and watch the game, and well, Shiva just popped by and we talked a little bit. It was pretty pleased. I was very pleased. I was very pleased with her.
So, are you into her?
Absolutely, but the problem is that she friend zoned me, so it's never gonna happen.
Oh
I'm very sad
snap!
about that.
That
Yeah,
sucks, man. First S4 ignores you, and then Shiva friend zones
yeah,
you.
yeah.
That
It really
sucks.
sucks.
What what about the whole debate on the internet about, I love that picture where I S4 was taking where S4 I think was sitting on your lap, and some who was that in the background looking
It
at you
was
guys?
IX Mike. It's so
Ike's
stupid.
mic. It was so
Yeah,
funny.
this. Yeah, it's very bad picture.
Oh man. All right. We've already been going on for a while, so I don't want to hold you up all too much. Um, is there has there been anything in regards to, I don't know, events that you've been to or experiences that you've had in the past that I haven't asked you about that you maybe wanna talk about right now? Is there anything that you still want to get out there?
Mm, I don't think anything in specific. I mean, from all the LAN events we've been going to, I think the Chinese one in G1, they had the craziest fans. Yeah, for sure. I remember that. They were pretty nuts there. It was pretty fun.
How did it manifest? Like how did they just really
Well,
loud
it's
and
funny.
crazy?
Uh, because after we play a game, every Chinese, we went outside and we won an autograph and everything. But everyone was always screaming like "Loda, Loda," because Loda is very, very big in China. So he's it's funny because they always scream Loda. Uh,
Not alliance or anything else?
no, it's always Loda.
Hmm.
But yeah,
How do you like Star Ladder?
it's one of my favorite events because it's so nearby and it's a very very chill event compared to others, I think. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think Star Ladder is also like I'm also not like a fan of huge parties and stuff like that where everybody's like getting wasted and stuff, but in Kiev, Star Ladder has a lot of charm, I think. Like that's kind of an environment where I would feel very, very, very good, I think. But I haven't been there. Maybe someday I'll manage to be there. It looks very, very awesome to be there in Kiev, but we'll see. What is something when you play pub games that you see pub players do a whole lot that pisses you off, that you disagree with, that you would like to make a PSA about right now so people stop?
Hmm. Well, don't go Maelstrom on Lone Druid. Just don't do it, please. It's not good.
Why?
Just go Radiance. It's 10 times better. It's that simple. If you want to be strong early game, you go Face Boots, over Venom, and Hand of Midas, and then go into Radiance. It doesn't matter if you get it 26 minutes. It's still good. Just go Radiance. Don't go Maelstrom. That's all I have to say.
Okay. All right. You do stream a lot and you have a lot of social media, so perhaps if you want to go ahead, you can let the people know. Maybe I don't know if you have like certain days where you stream, but maybe you can let the people know where they can find you, where they can follow you and stuff.
Sure. Well, I haven't been streaming recently because I've had to do other things, and now with the new patch coming out, and we were going away for the entire second month of November, or the second half of it, so I won't be able to stream November as well. But starting December, I'm going to start streaming again quite a lot. But so you could see my stream at Twitch TV slash Admiral Bulldog, or you could just go to Twitter as well, which is Admiral Bulldog. There is where you will find me.
Perfect. All right. First of all, thank you so much for the interview. It's been a pleasure. It's been a second time, so yeah, thanks so much for taking the time one more time.
Yeah, it's no worries. It was a pleasure.
Awesome, dude. All right. Well, enjoy your new apartment. Enjoy going for the new patch. And if you do play pub sometime and you need another player, let me know. Seems to be a very, very fun group.
Sure, sure. Just add
And
me.
all right, will do. What's your? Oh no, don't tell me on the interview what your Steam name is. I'll just find out and I'll add you up. All right. So you go ahead, enjoy your day, and I will hopefully talk to you again in the future. But for now, thanks so much, man. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. See ya. Thanks.
Bye bye. Alright guys, that was Admiral Bulldog. This here is a Basset Hound. You can see on the screen it's a dog that he might want to get because the English Bulldogs have a lot of health issues, and as you can see it's extremely cute and awesome, and I feel like he should get 5 of them and take a lot of pictures every day for us. I will go and grab something to eat right now. This has been it. Well, we've been going on for quite some time, so I hope you enjoyed the interview. And you can follow me on Twitter as well. You can see that on the picture here. It's at EpiDota2. EpiDota2 are all my handles when it comes to social media. I have that for Facebook as well, but for some reason people don't like me on Facebook as much as they follow me on Twitter. So if you could like me on Facebook.com/EpiDota2 as well, that would be awesome. And the YouTube.com/EpiDota2 is where you are probably watching this right now. And if you want to stay updated, then it would be amazing if you could what is it? Subscribe. Yes, that's the English word. Subscribe to me on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back with the next episode of Epi Chats within a week or two. I hope I will get Pycat this time around. He should be in boot camp in China by now. And one more time before I head out, thank you, Admiral Bulldog, for coming on to the show for a second time. I'll see you all next time with Epi Chats. Until then, bye-bye.